captured the area. We hit the enemy! Our team captured the area. Engine boost activated. Good job. We're under attack. Enemy torpedoes spotted. Enemy team captured the area. Engine boost activated. Enemy torpedoes spotted. Destroyed an enemy ship. Our team is about to win.
Hello everyone, it's DFA, welcome back to the channel, and yes, I keep repeating all the time that you should never YOLO, but with that ship it's a little bit different, because this is the Yukikaze, one of my favorite ships in the game, and a ship that you almost never see, and I don't know why, because it's actually quite full of qualities. Let's take a look at it. And so there it is, next to the Kagero, Kizuki, Asashio and a couple of other tier 8 destroyers. In ability we notice that it does have the same crappy survivability as the usual Japanese destroyers, but it does have the best concealment at tier 8 and also the best maneuverability, best turn time, very good traverse, and only the top speed is a little bit lagging. And so that will be your elite bonus, the one that improves speeds and acceleration. The main guns, actually the damage is pretty average at 26,000, but it's the turret rotation that will let you down. You absolutely have to use the turret traverse in your equipment setup, otherwise you will never be able to be using those guns. Putting them on target and keeping them on target will be a constant challenge. Okay, torpedoes, where it gets interesting and where I think the ship gets its bad reputation from. You get 861 centimeters torpedoes, but unlike the Kagero, the damage is a little bit lower at 4000 versus 4600, and the reload is also longer at 67 seconds. So that's comparable with the Asashio, but unfortunately, unlike the Asashio, you do not get the extra torp reload. And so yes, you do lose a bit of damage potential, but for me it's more than compensated by the fact that you get 3 fuel smokes and the sonar, and you can get a lot. It's a lot easier to get close to your target and unleash those torpedoes, to be honest. So that ship is very good at just doing that. And finally, the AA, it's comparable with the Kagero, and so it's not very good, but since you do have an excellent maneuverability, you can dodge CV torpedoes and you can survive a little bit longer than, for example, the Asashio or the Akizuki. And so what do we have here? We got the 2 fake Amagis, 2 American battleships, easy targets. Chappie, we need to watch out for that radar, and the German DD, which it would be a good idea to avoid, to be honest. And so yes, the Yukikaze, it's a nice synthesis between all the other Japanese destroyers, to be honest, and I really like it because it's a very flexible machine. It's got the maneuverability to survive in a lot of situations. The top speed is actually not that bad once you equip it correctly, 37 knots, so you can get into positions fairly quickly, and you get the engine accelerator as well, and the 3 fuel smoke charges. They're going to have an influence on the way we play that thing, because it's really good at getting closer to its targets. So that's something that we will take a look at during this gameplay. But we do start by following the playbook for that map. We do lead the way and we're going to scout for our team, not being too aggressive, just being in the cap, because that Japanese DD can actually survive and stay a lot longer in caps than the others. And we spot the first battleship. It looks like they're not really going to challenge A, it's going wide. C is not captured yet, so the German DD might actually be somewhere close to where we are, and there you go, that's the Chapayev there. I'm staying outside the detection range because I do not want to mess with him at that range, and he uses his radar, and that's a big mistake. We will see why later in the gameplay, because all I have to do now is simply run away. And I use the best concealment at tier 8 to simply disappear, get off the radar. And so it's still a Japanese torpedo boat. You follow the playbook of the Japanese torpedo boats, you try to attack unsuspecting targets, you take your time before using your torpedoes and you try guessing where they are going to go next. In that case, the battleships are not in a position to be targeting them, at least for the moment, but that Chapi looks like it's not going anywhere, and I'm going to second guess. I'm going to send the torpedoes in his direction and hopefully we'll be able to score a couple of hits. And we disengage. And I think it's the major differentiator between that ship and the other Japanese destroyers, is the ability to engage and disengage, speed, maneuverability, and those excellent fuel charges. So you basically get 3 get out of jail cards per game, and that makes it very easy to play, to be honest. You don't need to fear CVs that much. There is not CV in that game, and you do rely a lot on your concealment to deal your damage. But it's actually not, I would say, as dangerous as, for example, the Akizuki or the Asachio, because honestly, these two, when you have a CV on the enemy team, it becomes a little bit tricky. There you go, the gun's doing the business there, and we managed to score a couple of torpedo hits on the Chapayev in the meantime. Now it's time to go back to A, because the enemy team does not seem to be challenging B. I have no idea what our team is doing at C, to be honest. But there we go, it's time to get aggressive. And so we're going to get a little bit closer to the action, still ahead of our team, and since all the enemy ships are going to be busy with our battleships, I will have a free pass, and so I'm going to get... that's a very good situation. Those are the situations that you need to be able to recognize. You see the Chapayev is going for B, he's basically doing the right thing, but he's leaving his 2 battleships isolated, and that calls for one thing. It means I can basically YOLO them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. That North Carolina is a very easy target. The Chapayev is absolutely not busy with me, he has no idea I'm coming for him, and sure enough, it's time to activate YOLO mode, and here we go. And so this guy is giving me a very nice broadside. I'm keeping the head of my ship towards him because I do not want to give him a broadside. It's absolutely not interested, and since it's got the island on its right, there's only one way he can go, and that's this way. You activate your fuel smoke to get away safely, and you're going to leave him with a little bit less health than what he had originally, and that becomes a very easy fight for my teammates. And sure enough, boom, there you go. 8 torpedo hits. Can we finish him with the guns? It's going to be complicated. And now we have that that Colorado there, who's completely busy with the rest of my teammates, and it's a very easy target for me. So the guns are actually not that bad on that thing, just like the other Japanese destroyers. They suffer from a poor turret rotation. So once you need to really anticipate the engagements, and you need to get your turrets, I would say, aligned in the right position, because it's going to take forever, and when you start twisting and turning, if you do not have the turret traverse mode, it becomes very complicated. But still, you should not be too scared from challenging caps with that thing, because remember, you have the smoke, you have the sonar, so you can get a little bit closer to the action. And here what we're going to do is we're going to go towards B, because the Chapayev is actually leaving that area. So we're not pursuing the Colorado, because that would put us too far away from the bases, which are the main objectives here, and basically we have 2 battleships dealing with 1, it should be a very easy win, and indeed, there you go, bye bye Colorado. And I see that the Chapi is actually heading towards B, so he probably has a good idea of what I'm going to do, and I'm going to, well, you guessed it, I'm going to YOLO him as well. Yeah, because that's something that I would never have done if he had kept its radar, but he used it, so if I'm simply going to activate my fuel smoke and I will be able to take him out, no problem. So I'm using my concealment, I'm getting as close as I can to him before I activate YOLO mode. And here we are, I'm gonna get detected, so yep, that's it, here we go, we're going to YOLO this guy. And sure enough, we activate our fuel smoke, and since he's already used its radar, it's absolutely useless. I know he has torpedoes, but I will be able to get mine off a lot faster than him, because I do have those amazing torpedo angles, and sure enough, bye bye Chappie. And so that's how you play that thing. You get 3 fuel smoke charges to play with. And you usually use them either to disengage from a dangerous situation, reset your concealment, again the best at tier 8, or you use them to YOLO isolated ships that are not able to detect you, like that poor Chappie for example. Cruiser battleship doesn't make any difference. With your torpedoes you can delete them absolutely no problem. And so Wargaming has done a really good job balancing that thing, because it has given it a lot of survivability options, but it does trade a little bit on the damage side by having, I would say, a less torpedo damage. So yeah, it's a much more balanced ship, I think, than the other Japanese destroyers. Not as fun as the Akizuki as far as I'm concerned, but the Akizuki, that's a very special ship indeed. You either love it or hate it, but I really like this one. I think it's a really nice compromise between the other playstyles, and certainly worth taking a look at. So there you go, end of the review of the lucky ship Yukikaze. I hope you've enjoyed it, learned a couple of interesting things. Stay safe, take care. That was Death from Above, signing out. Bye bye!